What if one of the biggest names in R&B wasn't just locked up but targeted for elimination? This isn't just about prison time. It's about secret murder plots, government cover-ups, and music industry conspiracies that reach the very top. R. Kelly's story has taken a dark and dangerous turn, and what you're about to hear comes straight from the inside. From exclusive inmate testimony to explosive court filings, this is the side of the R. Kelly case you were never supposed to see. Let's break it all down right now.
A lot of these platforms, they've been holding me back from really going in and exposing what I really want to expose.
That's R. Kelly's former cellmate, and he's finally breaking his silence on what's really going down behind bars. If you haven't heard, R. Kelly is going through some serious trouble in prison, and it's a lot darker than most people think.
Kelly was then removed against his will by guards from the prison and was not allowed to be treated. And they are saying that basically this could kill him because of the blood clots and the care that they are alleging he is not receiving.
We've got all the details, and this situation involves some seriously powerful names. Let's get into it. The murder plot. The fight for survival behind bars. R. Kelly is enduring extreme conditions in prison, and much of it was kept out of public view. That is, until June 2025, when his legal team, led by attorney Beau Brinley, filed what could be one of the most explosive legal motions in recent memory. Filed in Chicago federal court. The motion demanded Kelly's immediate release to home detention. Why? Because it claimed that officials from the Bureau of Prisons, alongside members of the Aryan Brotherhood, were allegedly involved in a plot to have him murdered.
These are people who seek to kill Mr. Kelly, rather than allow the corrupt criminal conduct of those who manufactured his convictions be exposed.
But this wasn't just a dramatic legal maneuver to get Kelly out of prison. The motion included a sworn statement from a key witness, someone who claimed first-hand knowledge of the murder plot. The central figure, McQuill Glenn Stein, a terminally ill inmate who described himself as a shot caller in the Aryan Brotherhood. In Stein's sworn statement, he claimed that 3 officials at the Federal Correctional Institution in Butner, North Carolina, offered him freedom in exchange for assassinating R. Kelly.
Stein, in his declaration, and set forth the reason that was given. The reason is that Mr. Kelly was about to expose some facts that would be extremely inflammatory and damaging to the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. And because of that, the Bureau of Prisons instructed Michael Glenn Stein to go to Butler and execute R. Kelly. And Mr. Stein made clear and gave us extraordinary detail when we spoke to Mr. Stein. We didn't use this until we actually went down and met with Mr. Stein for hours. And he told us in extraordinary detail that this is not the first instance, that this happens all the time. The Aryan Brotherhood has been directed to commit murders and beatings at the behest of prison officials.
According to Kelly's attorney, Beau Brinley, Stein was told that Kelly was preparing to expose damning information that could severely damage both the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. The solution: eliminate Kelly before he could spill the truth. But here's where things take a twisted turn. Stein claimed he was offered a very specific deal.
He have said that if he is to do this, he is a terminal cancer patient, he's going to die in his future, that's a fact. And they have said that he will be transferred and he'll get the opportunity to walk away. And Michael Glenn Stein has a history of escaping from Bureau of Prisons. He escaped previously. That's why he spent so long at the ADX Supermax in Florence. And all of a sudden, he was moved to this relatively low security facility at Butner and put near R. Kelly. That's a fact.
According to the allegations, Stein, who was dying from cancer, was told he'd be transferred to another facility and given the opportunity to escape. This would allow him to die a free man, rather than behind bars. It's worth noting that Stein had a history of prison escapes and was previously held at the infamous ADX Supermax in Florence, Colorado. This made the escape offer strangely believable. But something unexpected happened. Instead of carrying out the murder, Stein claimed he had a change of heart. He was allegedly sent to Kelly's unit in March 2025 and directly instructed by BOP officials to kill him. But instead of acting, Stein informed Kelly of the plot. According to Kelly's legal team, Stein revealed that this type of arrangement, where prison officials allegedly order gang members to commit violence, was not new. In fact, The Aryan Brotherhood had allegedly been used for murders and beatings on behalf of prison officials for years. If true, it points to a deeply corrupt system far beyond Kelly's individual case. But the alleged murder plot didn't stop with Stein. In June 2025, Kelly's attorneys claimed they learned of another Aryan Brotherhood member, who was also instructed by prison officials to kill both Kelly and Stein.
And that discussions have been had about poison in the food hall, about poison in the commissary. Discussions with Mr. Stein have been had about stabbings. These are the kinds of methods that have been discussed.
The allegations became even more chilling with details of the planned methods: poisoning Kelly's food in the chow hall or commissary, or simply stabbing him. After the emergency motion was filed, things allegedly got even worse. Kelly was reportedly moved to solitary confinement at FCI, but his legal team says he's now cut off from his family and being held in spider-infested conditions. They argue that this isn't for his protection, but rather retaliation for exposing the murder plot. Kelly is allegedly so terrified he refuses to eat prison meals or use commissary products, fearing they might be poisoned. But this alleged murder conspiracy is just the beginning. Kelly's legal team claims the entire case against him is built on constitutional violations and prosecutorial misconduct. It's not allegedly anymore, we have evidence, his team insists. One such piece of evidence is a signed declaration from Keshan Magda, Moody Kelly's former cellmate, who says he was recruited by prosecutors to steal attorney-client correspondence. According to the declaration, prison guards facilitated the theft of these confidential legal documents, which were then copied by a Bureau of Prisons investigator and used in court. If true, this would represent a massive violation of Kelly's constitutional rights, potentially enough to overturn his conviction. Federal prosecutors, however, responded swiftly. On June 16, 2025, they dismissed Kelly's allegations as fanciful, deeply unserious, and a mockery of the harm suffered by his victims. They described Kelly as a serial and unrepentant child molester, and argued that his placement in solitary confinement was evidence that the prison was taking his safety seriously, not attempting to harm him. But Kelly's legal team isn't backing down in a sign of just how desperate his situation has become. They've made a direct appeal to President Donald Trump for a presidential pardon. "We're going to explore every opportunity," they said, one, to make sure Robert Kelly doesn't get killed, and two, to see that he's freed from what we believe to be a corrupt prosecution, the kind President Trump has vowed to eradicate. Kelly's attorneys say Trump, having faced his own legal challenges, should understand the weight of their claims. They've pointed to Trump's past commutation of Gangster Disciples co-founder Larry Hoover as proof he's willing to take bold action. But as of the latest reports, no pardon has been granted. Still, Kelly's case raises a troubling question. Is this part of a larger pattern targeting powerful black men? His former cellmate, Ronnie Bowe, certainly thinks so. "They doing this to all the blacks in America," Bowe says. "They violating our human rights. Our Kelly's case, they violating that man's rights to Larry Hoover, they violating his rights. It's bogus." Despite the dramatic allegations, Kelly's legal efforts in traditional courts haven't seen much success. In February 2025, the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld Kelly's conviction and 30-year sentence, rejecting arguments of insufficient evidence, biased jurors, and misuse of racketeering laws. Kelly's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, now plans to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, but the odds are slim. The court already declined to hear Kelly's appeal of his Chicago conviction back in October 2024. Still, Kelly remains active behind bars. In a March 2025 prison podcast, he claimed to have written 25 albums while incarcerated, but that creativity is now shadowed by serious medical concerns. According to newly filed documents, Kelly experienced a terrifying medical emergency, which his legal team says was the result of improperly administered medication. In that emergency filing, Kelly's team claims he was given an extra dose of meds allegedly by prison staff, which led to a near-fatal overdose. He reportedly woke up on June 13, dizzy, faint, and seeing black spots. He collapsed, crawled to the door of his cell, and lost consciousness. He was rushed by ambulance to an outside hospital after the prison's own facility couldn't treat him. His condition is deteriorating. Kelly, who suffers from diabetes and previously faced life-threatening blood clots, allegedly pleaded for medical help for a swollen leg for months. When he finally got medical attention, doctors found clots in both legs and his lungs. He was told he'd need surgery and 3 weeks of care. but his legal team claims the prison guards forcibly removed him from the hospital against medical advice. They say this decision could be fatal. And while the overdose incident raised serious questions, what's blowing the lid off everything now is the testimony from inside the prison. Kelly's former bunkie has stories that take this saga to the next level. He's spilling tea, industry secrets, explosive testimony, and claims that stretch all the way to the top of the music world. What he says next changes everything. So, is R. Kelly a fallen icon facing justice, or a targeted man caught in a dangerous power game? With secret deals, medical sabotage, and billion-dollar music rights at stake, one thing's for sure. The truth behind these prison walls is more shocking than anyone imagined. And this is just the beginning. In Part 2, we'll uncover the industry players, the billion-dollar betrayal, and the bombshell accusations that could shake the music world to its core. Subscribe now and hit that bell, because what's coming next? They don't want you to hear.